While the world screams for your attention, the most powerful things on earth are building themselves in absolute silence. Every greatness begins in darkness and silence. We often celebrate the final result, but we are terrified of the lonely process required to create it all. Look at this ancient oak. Its skin is a map of centuries, a witness to the passage of time, standing firm while everything else around it changes. It stands alone, a giant among midgets, not because it was lucky, but because it dared to endure the silence that others could not possibly withstand today. A young woodsman enters this sanctuary, his steps heavy with the anxiety of a modern world that demands everything happen right now, without any further delay. He represents our generation, those of us who are obsessed with speed and hungry for immediate recognition, forgetting that nature never rushes, yet everything gets accomplished. He gazes upward, blinded by the height of success, yet unable to understand the decades of quiet struggle that built the foundation of such incredible grandeur. At the edge of the forest, he keeps his nursery, a place where he tries to force life to follow his schedule, ignoring the rhythm of nature. He kneels in the dirt, his heart racing with a thirst for growth. He wants to see his efforts bloom today, not tomorrow, not in years. With trembling hands, he begins to pull. He thinks he is helping, but he is only stretching the plant beyond its current capacity to survive alone. We do this to ourselves daily. We expose our half-baked ideas and show off our tiny progress, hoping for applause before we have even truly begun. He rushes to the water, thinking that more is always better. He believes that intensity can replace the slow, steady consistency that real growth actually requires. The water drowns the very life he seeks to save. In his haste to achieve greatness, he is destroying the delicate balance of the natural process. By seeking the spotlight too early, we inadvertently break the vital connection to our own depth. We become hollow, growing tall on the outside but empty. He stands in the mud of his own making, exhausted by the effort of pretending. He is tired of chasing a version of success that won't stay. The results are devastating. What was forced to grow too fast begins to wither just as quickly. The roots cannot sustain what the ego has built. A broken root is a silent tragedy. It is the cost of rushing the soul. Once the foundation is compromised, the height of the tree matters nothing. The nursery looks like a graveyard of ambition, while the ancient forest watches from a distance, standing in perfect, patient silence as it always has. The oak does not rush. It does not seek attention. It simply exists, growing stronger in the shadows, while the world outside clamors for more speed. Under the surface, in the absolute darkness of the earth, a secret battle is being fought. This is where the true character of greatness is forged. These roots must find their way through stone and cold. They don't have an audience. They don't have praise. They only have the drive to survive. True growth is a private affair. It happens when no one is watching, in the quiet hours of the night, when you face your own fears. The oak has survived 1,000 winters. It stood alone when the world was frozen, drawing strength from the very cold that killed the weaker ones. It endured the scorching droughts when the sun tried to drain its life. It did not complain. It simply reached its roots deeper into the earth. Every storm that tried to break it only served to make its wood more dense, its grip on the world more secure, and its resolve stronger. These scars are not signs of weakness. They are the medals of survival. Each mark tells a story of a night spent fighting for another day. The tree does not grow for the sake of the viewer's eyes. It grows for its own soul, a slow internal dialogue between life and time. Solitude is the price of height. To reach the stars, you must be willing to stand in the dark, far above the safety of the crowd. Inside the trunk, a silent pulse beats. It is the rhythm of patience, the understanding that greatness cannot be rushed by any human desire or will. When the roots finally touch the deep water, the tree becomes immortal. It no longer relies on the rain or the whims of the seasons. While the surface world is loud and chaotic, the core is at peace. Your inner stability is the only thing that can protect your outer world. The oak grew because it was willing to be alone in the dark. It accepted the price of greatness long before it ever tasted the sun. The atmosphere changes. A storm is coming, a test that no amount of pretending or rushing can ever prepare a living thing for in time. The wind howls like a hungry predator, searching for anything weak, anything shallow, anything that has not properly prepared for the coming winter's wrath. The nursery becomes a scene of destruction. The plants the man tried to help are the first to fall because they had no foundation underneath. Nature filters out the fakes. It demands honesty. If you have not built your strength in the dark, the light will only reveal your fragility. The woodsman runs, realizing that his efforts were in vain. He cannot protect what he forced to grow. He can barely protect himself now. He hides beneath the giant, seeking the very shelter he didn't understand. The oak stands like a fortress of wood, in spirit against the storm. While the forest screams in the wind, the oak is silent. Its power is not in its movement, but in its absolute refusal to be moved. In the heart of the storm, he finally sees the truth. Greatness isn't about how fast you grow, but how deep you are willing to sink. Because the oak endured its own loneliness, it now has the capacity to offer shelter to the very person who doubted the value of patience. The storm is not an enemy to the oak. It is a confirmation. It is the moment when all those years of silent struggle finally pay off. Morning comes, and the world is different. The weak have been cleared away, leaving only that which was built on the solid ground of truth. He sits in the quiet aftermath, no longer in a hurry. The storm has washed away his impatience and replaced it with a heavy, holy respect. He looks at his hands, the tools of his ego, and realizes that the best thing he can do now is to let things be as they are. He has learned that Vidai greatness is not being known by many, but having the strength to stand tall when no one else is left standing. Think of your dreams like this seed. They don't need the flash of a camera. They need the nourishment of your own focused, quiet attention. Positive solitude is the fertile ground of the soul. It is where you find out who you really are when the world isn't telling you who to be. The price of this growth is high. You will lose the applause of the crowd, but you will gain the respect of the mountains and the sky. Mature solitude is a choice to prioritize depth over height. It is the understanding that a tall tree with no roots is just a falling hazard. The reward for your lonely growth is the ability to provide shade for thousands of others who are still searching for their own way home. Your strength becomes their sanctuary. Your silence becomes their peace. This is the ultimate legacy of the one who is willing to be alone. How many times have you sabotaged your own future just to get a like or a comment from someone who doesn't even know your name? Do you have the courage to grow in the dark? Do you have the heart to be a giant in a world that only values the small? Let your success be the only noise you make. Let your character be the only proof you need. Grow slowly, grow deeply, and grow forever. The forest remains, a silent teacher to those who are willing to listen. The oak stands, a monument to the power of the solitary soul. Stop looking for the spotlight. Start looking for the soil. Your greatness is waiting for you in the silence of your own deep roots.